So let's go back to April 2023 when we had the impulse decision to drive all the way up from England to Workham in Holland to have a look at a Sun Odyssey 409 from 2011 that was for sale up there. We were just coming off the back of paying for a survey for another vessel, which failed due to soggy decks, so we were feeling a little bit delicate when we were on our way up.
You're underneath, yes. They're sailing above us, look at that. How cool is that?
That's mad. She was about 3 foot bigger than the last boat we'd made an offer on, and Eddie hopped straight on board to have a good old look around. I couldn't believe how much bigger it was inside. The other boat seemed a lot narrower, and this one just had loads of other specs. We were just kind of blown away, really. Bear in mind, she had been sitting there a while, so she needed a good old scrub. After our viewing, we thought we'd go back and have a good old pint of Dutch beer and probably a Diet Coke next to the water. We went back to the office straight away and told them we were really interested. After 12 hours of being up there, we made our way home, and Eddie went back to work on his fishing boats, and I went back to painting boats onto nautical charts. We put in an offer and it was accepted, subject to the boat passing its survey, of course.
That's some big boats in there.
Bear in mind how sunny it always was every time we went back. That soon changed later on. Yeah, I wouldn't trust him either. This is the life, isn't it? No. West Yachting, who we bought the boat off eventually, recommended this guy who was a surveyor who used to do all the boats for them. He came highly recommended, and to be fair, he really knew what he was doing. I really wanted to go on board as well, but I think I was a little bit too nervous, so I just kind of let them crack on with it. The lift-out crane was kind of just up the river, so we took it up there, reversed it in, and here's the local yard dog giving it a good old inspection. Always find it a bit weird that they just scrape bits off of your new boat. Didn't like it much, but I suppose he knew what he was doing. The surveyor was very happy with it, so we made the offer, had it accepted, and then we had to go and sell all our cars back in the UK.
We've got loads of places to park cars, but no cars.
We're carless. Trust me, we had a very tight budget. People seem to think because you've bought a boat that you've got loads of money. That wasn't the case with us. was finally ours, so we flew back out to find her in her new berth that West Yachting had moved her to. It was so good to know she was finally ours after months and months of looking for the perfect boat. Giving her a little cuddle here. Now it's time to stock up for our 4 days of travelling back to the UK. Yup, I'm a child, what can I say? Even though it was July at this point, you'd think the weather would be quite good. But the day before we were meant to leave, there was a hurricane forecast. The biggest, strongest storm that Holland had ever had in the summer. Just our luck. Typical. However, it did give us a bit of extra time to have a look around these amazing chandleries that they had up there. They sold absolutely everything. They were like 10 times the size of the ones in the UK. And actually cheaper as well. Unicorn. Back on the boat, and we had to try and find space for all this stuff before our guests arrived.
It was test these cables.
There's the vault needs to sit there.
The day we were meant to leave came, and here was the hurricane. As you can see, it wasn't very nice. Definitely not worth leaving the marina in that, especially not for our first trip. However, the next day was absolutely beautiful, so we were ready to go at last. Simon was cooking breakfast, stuff was hanging on the line, everyone was happy and ready to go, and the sun was out. We were so excited to get going. Right in the way. Is Pete driving? Oh, no.
No.
Eddie's driving. It felt so good to get out of the marina and look at the weather. Flat, calm, beautiful. It was quite shallow though, which we weren't really anticipating, but we did get there. And here we are hoisting the sails for the very first time. We hadn't actually had time to check them before the survey, we just trusted that they were good. Eddie, like a pig in shit there. And the sun's still out with our little Polish flag flying. And there we were, sailing back to the UK. Not too knackered. Even I was brave enough to have my first little go at helming. It felt so good. It was a lot bigger than the albacores that I was used to sailing. And my old dad's boat, that was a little bit shorter too, and that was also when I was about probably 12 years old. The locks were mad because everyone was locked up from the day before from the weather. Everyone had a mass exodus. We all had the same idea. It was a little bit overwhelming, so I'm quite glad that Simon and Pete were there to help us. Look at all those boats. Finally out the other side and into the proper sea. It was a little bit choppy, but we were on our way back to the UK. Please follow our journey, and I'll be posting more stuff in the next coming weeks. Thanks again.